You know that phrase, the elephant in the room, right? Well, what if that elephant isn't some personal secret anymore? What if it's gotten bigger, a lot bigger? In this explainer, we're going to reframe that whole metaphor to try and understand the massive, unspoken challenges we're all facing on a global scale.
Man, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? That incredibly awkward, heavy silence where some huge truth is just hanging in the air and everyone is pretending not to see it. It's a feeling we've all had, and it is absolutely key to understanding the big shift we're about to explore.
All right, so before we get to the new, supersized elephant, let's start on familiar ground. Let's talk about the original elephant in the room, the one we all know.
So traditionally, this is what we're talking about. You know, the skeletons in the closet, the hidden family traumas, the kinds of deep personal secrets we're just too scared to bring up. It's that personal shadow that can really limit our choices and kind of hold us back in life.
But here's the thing. The solution, it's actually pretty simple, but it's also profound. The moment you finally name the elephant, the second you actually talk about the secret, you strip it of its power. It's that first step to freeing yourself. Now remember this principle because it's going to come back in a really big way.
Okay, now for the pivot. Because something has changed. The personal elephant we were just talking about, well, it's not just in our living rooms anymore. It's grown, and it's now standing right in the middle of our global town square. And this right here perfectly illustrates the core idea. We're shifting from the personal to the planetary. The old elephant, that was about our hidden secrets. But this new elephant, it's about the hidden secret, a massive, interconnected global crisis that we are, as a whole, choosing to ignore.
And here it is. This is the crucial point. The real, unspoken truth of our time is something called the Metacrisis. It's that nagging feeling in the back of our minds that our whole way of life, our systems of production and consumption, have pushed the planet beyond its breaking point.
So, what exactly is this enormous new elephant? The source material calls it the Mount Everest of all subjects, and for good reason. It's huge. So let's try and break it down.
Okay, so the Metacrisis isn't just one single problem, like climate change or social inequality. No, it's the tangled, messy web where all of these crises overlap and actually feed into each other. And it all seems to stem from this fundamental idea that we're somehow separate from the natural world.
This image of a fire tornado, wow. It is such a powerful visual for this concept. Think about it. It's not just wind, and it's not just fire. It's the terrifying combination of both, creating something way more destructive than either one alone. And that's the Metacrisis. It's a perfect storm of problems creating a situation that is so much greater and scarier than the sum of its parts.
Okay, so if the Metacrisis is the what, the next logical question has to be why, right? What's the engine that's actually driving this perfect storm? Well, the sources point to one primary driver.
And here we are, this is the core of the issue. To put it really simply, we're using stuff up and spitting out waste way, way faster than the planet can handle. We're basically living as if we have infinite resources on a very, very finite world.
I love this metaphor because it just makes a really complex idea crystal clear. We are spending our planet's natural capital faster than it can ever replenish itself. And just like with a real bank account, you can only do that for so long before the entire system just crashes.
And this visual, this is exactly what stretched past their limits actually looks like. It's a feedback loop. One problem creates another, which then makes the first problem even worse, and the whole thing just spins faster and faster. This is ecological overshoot in action, and it's destabilizing the very systems we need to survive.
Wow, that's a powerful and pretty visceral way to frame it, isn't it? The planet is screaming at us that its systems are failing, and our economic model just keeps telling it to stop overreacting. It is a textbook toxic relationship, and the big unspoken secret is that we're all collectively terrified of walking away from it.
So after all of that, where does this leave us? I mean, facing this massive planetary elephant can feel completely overwhelming. But just for a second, remember what we learned about the old elephant.
And this brings us right back to where we started. The Metacrisis thrives on our silence, on our polite denial. The solution starts the exact same way it did with our personal secrets. We have to find the courage, the integrity, to name it, to actually point at this planetary elephant and refuse to look away anymore.
You see, acknowledging the problem isn't about giving in to despair. It's the opposite. It's about waking up. It's the start of a whole new conversation. And once we've all finally truly acknowledged the massive creature standing in the middle of our collective room, well, that's when the real adventure begins. We have to figure out the steps to a completely new dance